Welcome to our free YouTube Creator Training Library brought to you by the Senior Tuber community.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Niche Building Playbook. This is a bridge to your desired audience. I'm Fran, and this is sort of like a mini course to help you learn more about niches. Let's just consider this the power of a niche, the overview. And we'll go over what we're going to be discussing from today forward and give you a taste of what you might need for choosing your own niche. All right. So whether you have a niche or not, that's the first question. If you're here with a niche, that's great. I want to acknowledge you for showing up with a niche, right? You might think, I don't need this course, right? Even though it's a mini course. But you might need it because I thought I had a niche for years and found out that was the reason why I was failing for all those years is because I didn't have a niche. All right. And that's really what this whole course is about. But if you don't have a niche, this is a great place to start so that you can sort of formulate where you want to go and why you want to go there. So stick around. All right. So first of all, I want you to know that I'm a student just like you. And I want to tell you a little bit about my story. First of all, I started on YouTube about in 2009 and then got a channel in 2011, a second channel. And I failed at it for at least 10 years. And how did I fail at it? Because I really had a lot of fun doing it. I even started making a little bit of money, but I didn't have committed audience. I didn't have engagement. And what I really wanted to do was learn how to do it right. So I studied it and I did what I thought I needed to do to learn it. And I did. I learned a lot, but it certainly wasn't enough to take me to a level that I wanted to, where I could monetize my channel. So what I did is I eventually, because I studied, I bought books and DVDs and audiobooks, things like that. I read a lot about it, but eventually I took a formal academy. And it was life-changing. It really helped me know what I was working towards. Because sometimes you think you know, you're watching everybody else do it. You're trying to do it exactly the way they do it. But you don't know what you don't know. And that's what changed my life forever. But here's what happened. I learned about niches. And I learned what to do in the academy. And then I decided to go into multiple directions. And I decided to break the rules that were there. I had to get back to the plan eventually because I was still taking what I learned about niches and doing it my way. And then I got back on track. That could happen to you. It actually could. So I want to talk to you about what we're going to learn over the next couple of sessions. And hopefully I have saved you about 10 years worth of trial and error. And there's a place for you to leave comments on where you're at with your niche so that I can help you and respond to you and maybe lead you to a better place with your niches. So what we're going to learn here is we're going to learn what I call a 3E formula so that you know you're in the right niche. So once you find this formula, or if you can't find it, you'll know it's probably not the right niche for you if you don't have this formula in place. Then we're going to learn how to research whether you chose the right 3E formula. Then we're going to talk about using your intuition because some of us, we don't want all logic. And that's like me. I just want to go with where I feel like going, but I also want to include what I'm learning. So that's how I got to where I am today. Besides using your intuition, I want to teach you how to break the rules. And we're going to talk a little bit about that right now, but I also want you to know that I'm a rule breaker. I support rule breakers, and I know people out there who have niches who are doing really great, just playing by the rules, doing great and making money. And I know people out there who aren't doing anything that they were taught in their niche courses that they've learned, and they're making money. And then I know people who are sort of in between who think they have a niche, but they have something that they have not shared about their niche, which leads them to be misleading their audience and causing them to sort of be without a niche. Even though it's very fine-tuned, it might be missing a piece. So we're going to talk about tips on standing out once you choose your niche, right? I say niche, by the way, but you can say it any way that sounds better for you. Anyway, we want you to stand out with your niche. there was a reason for you to call it a niche, is because it's going to separate you from others, especially the people who are doing exactly what you're doing. Like me, if I have other senior tuber creators, if I have other people who are creating with baby boomers or Gen Xers, what makes me different than the others? I love some of the other creators and the senior channel owners. I love them, but I also want to be unique. And I will tell you, just showing up makes me unique, but I also want to like compliment them and make sure I use the best part of me for how I deliver my content to my audience. So you have to be very careful on you being true to your niche. And you can let people steer you as long as it's not taking you away from your vision, your passion, and the legacy you want to leave. Also, we want you to have a breakthrough with this training like I did, right? So I found that I loved to be on YouTube. I loved content creating, and I like helping people get where they want to go. And my breakthrough was when I married the two. After being a coach for almost 20 years, I started being a mentor and a strategist for mature content creators. So here I was putting together my two loves, helping people get where they want to go, but letting them do it all under the umbrella of being a content creator. Some of our people in our group aren't even creators yet. They don't even have a channel yet, but they still come because they love the sense of community there, the sense of support, and they're still thinking about having a channel. So there was my breakthrough that I can do this. And it was just like I had just met my match. It was perfectly aligned for what I wanted to do. So what else are we going to learn? Well, we're going to learn if your niche is niche down enough or too much, right? So what does that mean? It's sort of like the three bears, right? When you had the three bears, it was too big or too small or just right. And you might not know that until you start with your niche. And then you start saying, okay, I think I've niched down a little bit too much. Nobody's knocking on the door. Or I think I can niche down more because I think there are people who only want to see this, right? So in my case, I like to be a content creator and teach people how to be a content creator, but I don't want to work with all different ages. I recognize that I'm a mature woman. I want to teach mature people. And I think there's a reason for that because I want to make sure that we learn at a comfortable pace and not like a fire hose like younger people do. And so I kept niching down. And then at one point I was working with just women content creators. And I didn't like that. I felt like I wanted to have men and women in my community. And so I stretched it a little bit out a little further. So based on you and how you feel and how your audience is responding to you, you'll decide if you want to go in, out, or you're just right. Some of you would be interested in knowing if you wanted to choose a niche that you really haven't mastered yet. I get that. I've actually been interested in some of those topics. Like, what if I wanted to do a cooking channel and I'm not a great cook and I just love the idea of vegan cooking and I'm a messy cook. And I thought maybe I should have a channel about being a messy vegan chef, right? But I know nothing about it. I'm not even that great at the preparation, but I could become a channel owner for that if I wanted to. And we're going to talk about if you wanted to do something that isn't exactly what you've mastered, what you're an expert at, but you're really interested, I have great tips on that to help you do that. Also, who is your channel for? Because some of us are creating a channel based on what we want to do for the world. And some of us want to meet the world where what they need, you're providing. All right. And it's okay that you marry the two, but you do want to know if you've even thought about your audience as much as you've thought about sharing your own voice, right? You want to make sure there's an audience for you. Also, we're going to build a business that's going to be successful. It's going to make your channel successful because you chose a niche. And there are certain things, there's certain kind of conditions that you want to do to make sure you've positioned yourself to succeed. And choosing a niche actually helps, just that alone helps you have a better chance of survival and getting engagement and getting a bigger and better audience. And we're also going to talk about branding. What do you do? Now that you have a niche, you get to express yourself a certain way that actually doubles down on the value of having a niche. And now it's going to show as well. So for me, it was changing colors, changing how I wanted to convey myself to my audience, and maybe meeting my audience where they were and not just what I wanted. And it's also about finding your people. We're going to talk about how do you find your people? Now that I know I'm a content creator for mature people, where are you? right? And so I had to do some research and find that. And we're going to discuss how you do it and how to get them as fast as you can. Okay, and other things that we're going to talk about are the things that make your channel stand out. Again, part of branding, but a little bit more than that. And we're going to talk about the questions that change everything. So there are questions here that you'll ask yourself that are going to make a difference in your future of your channel and once you have your niche. We're also going to talk about whether now that you've chosen your niche, what now? What will you do with it? Well, where do you take it? What is your next responsibility, let's say, once you have a niche? So until next time, I just wanted to say this is Fran, and this is the overview of the niche course that we're teaching. And I hope you come back for the others. Just click up here and go to the next video, and hopefully you'll learn a lot about niches, and comment if you have any questions. And don't forget to subscribe so when we do put up the next video, you do have a notification that comes to you. So start thinking about the niche that you have or the one that you want. And what do you notice about it? Did you notice other people within your niche? Have you gone to other people's channels? Have you looked up your niche to see what they're doing, what they're saying, what their topics are? And then you want to evaluate what they focus on, and then how can you show up differently? Very, very important. So before we meet again, go ahead and check to see what they're doing and how you want to be different. All right. So I want it to be very affordable, very relatable, taking people off the obligation train, and just have people have fun and relaxed and self-expressed and not it be a rigid learning. So I need to be that. I need to have fun. I need to be loose and free. And people who aren't interested in that aren't going to choose me. But the people who are will know that about me. So start noticing what people do. You might love somebody out there in their niche, but you say, you know what, that person is pretty darn serious. I think maybe I want a lighter audience, and that could help you. Okay, so thank you again. As I said, I'm Fran. I am the founder of the Senior Tuber community. I am a mentor and a strategist, and I help people start and grow their YouTube channels, mostly baby boomers and Gen Xers. So please definitely check in if you're interested in learning more. We do have a free YouTube training library on this channel, and we have a TubeBuddy training library, and that is our favorite YouTube tool to get us through streamlined uploading of our videos. If you're interested in that, I did put a link in the description. And anything else you want to know about the Senior Tuber to see if you belong here, we have a lot of things that we offer, from free training to personal and private training to group dynamics. And maybe you'll find yourself there. I'm hoping that you will, and I'd love to meet you. Thank you again, and until next time, bye-bye.
Thank you for watching our free YouTube Creator Training Library, brought to you by the Senior Tuber community.